everyone, it's Katie. Welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be doing the no disclaimers book tag, so get ready for some tea to be spilled. Oh, what if I actually spilled tea? Today we are going to be doing the no disclaimers book tag, so get ready for some tea to be spilled. Alright, I was tagged in this book tag by Brittany from Brittany the Bibliophile, and I'm so excited to talk about this because I think it tackles some important issues and no disclaimers. Just put your opinions out there on these questions. You don't have to disclaim to anyone why you think the way that you do. So let's get started. First question is, which tropes in books annoy you the most? I hate, and it just annoys me so much when there's miscommunication between the characters that could easily resolve a situation. Or someone just like doesn't want to tell someone something even though they obviously should, and it causes this whole big issue. Like, just freaking talk to each other. I just think it's a cheap way to create conflict, and I think that there's better ways to set up the situation than just the character being like, oh, I don't want to talk to you about this, and it just frustrates me to no end. Which writer do you feel is overhyped? Okay, I actually have a tough time with this question, but I think I know what I'm gonna go with. And this is like kind of, I feel like she's overhyped and not, but Outlander series by Diana Gabaldon. I absolutely love the series with my whole heart, and I think that the storyline is great, the characters are fantastic, the world building is so rich, but I think that Diana Gabaldon's a little overrated because the series just goes on and there's no actually overarching plot to bind it together. It's just like things happen in each book and you're just following their lives, but there's not some thread that ties everything together, and there are fantasy elements, but they're just kind of used when they're convenient, like the time traveling aspect, and it's not like anything that, it's like only relevant when they like want to travel in time, but besides that, like there's like nothing, it's just historical. So I think she just used time travel to get a modern woman back in 1740s Scotland, and it's like, I love these books so much, but I can just see the blaring obvious flaws in them. And the other thing that really annoys me is she's just like so descriptive. Like, my friend Melissa has also read the series. She said one time she counted, Diana Gabaldon spent 5 pages discussing the shades of red in Jamie's beard hairs. So I must have blacked out during that part because I don't even remember that, but yeah. Don't let that turn you off from the series. There's also a TV show that is absolutely fantastic, and I love it so much, and I do love this series, but it's like I love it while knowing that there's flaws with it. Yeah, so that's why I think that Diana Gabaldon's like a little overrated, but I just like, she's overrated, but I love it so much, so I don't really know how to like phrase that properly. Let's see what's next. What are your least favorite books that you've read since joining BookTube? I've had a great experience reading most of the books that I've found on BookTube because it's like all these series that people have loved for years and I've just totally been missing out on. But I will say probably the book that I rated the lowest and I liked the least is Sky in the Deep by Adrienne Young. I actually got this book in an Owl Crate box and everyone was going crazy about it when it first came out, and I thought it was good. I didn't think it was bad, but I just felt like it's a story about Vikings and these two battling Viking clans, and I thought that there was going to be more battling, and it was really just kind of boring, and it was a little bit of a letdown, even though I did enjoy like the emotional aspects of this story. What is a terrible ending that ruined an otherwise quality book? And I'm gonna say, what is a book that ruined an otherwise quality series? And if you could guess, yes, it is A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J. Maas. This book was coming out right around the time that I read the series for the first time, so I was just so excited for it. I wanted to see the characters again, and even though I go into it with the expectation that it's a novella and it's not going to be as good as the novels, there were just some problematic aspects. Like, it was okay, but I felt like it just wasn't up to what the rest of the series was, and it kind of, I don't know, I just kind of like wished that we just skipped right to the next book, which is going to focus on Nesta and Cassian, and I think I'd rather just read that instead of having this weird little thing in the middle of it. And which fictional character do you wish was not killed off? I'm going to go with a character from Vicious. So if you haven't read this book, please mute it until I put the book down. I really wish that Serena wasn't killed off because I think that she was so powerful and interesting, and I really loved the dynamic between her and Sydney, and I would have just loved to see more of that. I do think that Eventual does a good job of focusing more on strong female characters, but I wish that Vicious kind of didn't kill off Serena so soon and we had some more time to like play around with her character and see how like her and Sydney feed off of one another. But yeah, I did really love this book anyways. What are some of your bookish pet peeves? I have a few to talk about. My first thing is when people judge you for reading YA and think that it's silly. I basically talk more about this in my There's No Right Way to Be a Reader video, so I won't go on too long-winded of a rant, but I just think it's dumb. People always frown upon what young girls love, and YA is just a place where a lot of women can find strong characters represented in fantasy worlds, especially that's kind of lacking in the adult genre. So that's my concise rant. The other thing that I really, really hate is mass market paperbacks. I hate them so much. They're just so small, the spines always crack, and for whatever reason, the things that get made into mass market paperbacks are like gigantic freaking tomes. Like the whole Outlander series is in a mass market paperback and they're bricks. No. The one that was really a brick is I saw a mass market paperback of The Way of Kings. It was actually approximating the size of a brick. Who wants to read a brick and like the text is so small and like you can't even hold it correctly because it just drives me crazy. I don't know why mass market paperbacks exist. I get that they're mass market paperbacks, they're just cheaper to print, but like I hate them. If I get a book and it's accidentally a mass market paperback, like I won't read it and I'll just return it and try and get a paperback elsewhere because I cannot deal with them. They're bricks, they're inconvenient, they're like not easy to read, they just suck. I hate them. What are some books you feel like should have more recognition? I'm going to talk about The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin, which is part of the, I believe it's called the Shattered Earth series, and it has won a Hugo Award and stuff, and it's definitely gotten a lot of real life recognition, but I don't know if I've seen many people on BookTube talking about this series. However, we follow 3 different storylines in this Earth where the 5th season has come, basically a season of destruction, and there's like basically a great rift that forms in the Earth and plunges this world into eternal night and cold, and everyone has to go out there and survive on their own. And the back little summary sums it up best. This is the stillness, a land familiar with catastrophe, where power of the earth is wielded as a weapon and where there is no mercy. The story is just really well written. It has a magic system that I've never seen anything like it before. The stories are just weaved together so well, and the twists and turns just shock you, and I absolutely adored this whole trilogy. I really liked it, so I definitely recommend, if you like fantasy, to give this one a try and pick it up. Okay, and what are your thoughts on censorship and banning books? Obviously, I think it's bad. I was actually, for this question, looking up some statistics from the American Library Association. They have a quote that I really like: banning books silences stories. I found out that the majority of censorship actually happens at the public library level and not in public schools, and that most of the people that want to ban books are just patrons of the library, so I guess they'll complain about something and then the library will take that book off the shelves or something or other, and it's usually for violence or sexual themes or LGBTQ plus themes. Yeah, and I just think that books are a really great way to experience something outside of our normal sphere of life and things that we wouldn't normally experience in our own lives just because of, you know, the privileges that we were born with, or, you know, just being able to put yourself in a situation that you know nothing about and you would probably never even be able to get to experience. And I think that learning about these issues through the eyes of other characters and things that we can have an attachment to is just a way to heighten the emotional experience of these issues. And I think that when we take away that opportunity to experience those stories, it's really just keeping people purposely ignorant, and it's really bad. Okay, so that was it for my no disclaimers tag. I am going to tag Cindy from Read with Cindy. I'm pretty sure she's already been tagged in this, but I need her to spill the tea. I'm going to tag, and if you're watching this, I'm going to tag you because I want to hear what you all have to say on these very interesting questions. All right, that's it for now. Have some fun, read some books, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.